MakingAScene.org brings you why microsync licensing should be part of every independent songwriter's business plan.
Okay, let's dive right in. For the longest time, we were all sold this dream, right? That one huge placement, that one lucky break in a movie or a big ad that changes everything. But here's the thing. As MakingAScene.org points out, that was never really a business plan. It was more like a wish dressed up as a strategy. It was all about waiting for some gatekeeper to pick you out of a giant pile.
And this slide just lays out that mindset shift so perfectly. I mean, look at the left. That's the old gatekeeper logic. You wait, you hope, you're totally dependent. Now look at the right. That's ownership logic. That's you building your own system, creating revenue you can actually count on, and focusing on the assets that you already control. This isn't about getting lucky anymore. It's about getting systematic. It's about building a real sustainable business.
So what are we actually talking about when we say microsync? Let's just define it. And please don't let that word micro fool you. It doesn't mean weak or unimportant. Not at all. It's not about smaller value. It's about a whole lot less friction.
This is a market that is built for speed and scale. I mean, just think about the sheer volume of content being created every single day by YouTubers, podcasters, indie game developers, you name it. They all need music, but they don't have the time or the budget for that slow, old-school, relationship-heavy world of traditional sync. They have a problem to solve, and they need to solve it like yesterday. That is a massive, and I mean massive, hungry market.
And to actually serve that market, we have to totally rethink what we're selling. And it all starts with this one simple question. What if a song isn't just one single product? And here's the answer, and honestly, it's a game changer. One song file is really the source for a whole family of products. That instrumental track, that's perfect for a YouTuber to talk over. That 15-second cut, that is exactly what a social media editor is desperately looking for right now. Even just the drum stem could become a loop for a podcast intro. See? You're not just selling a song, you're selling dozens of super useful, licensable musical parts.
And if you're thinking, oh, that sounds like a pretty niche idea, think again. 41,900, and that's a plus. That's how many of these modular music kits are for sale on just one marketplace, Audio Jungle. The market isn't just ready for this, it's already built around it. Creators are out there right now actively buying the building blocks, not just the finished house.
This right here, this is maybe the most important mindset shift of all. We've got to stop thinking about our old songs as being finished or expired. That's how a streaming platform thinks. But with ownership logic, you see that those songs are actually untapped assets. They're not old, they're just underprocessed. They're raw material waiting for you to turn them into something new.
And here's the proof of how this works in the real world. This is actual data from the marketplace Pond 5. Just look at what buyers are searching for. They are not typing in your artist name, they're searching by mood, by vibe, by use case, cinematic, ambient, uplifting. And that tells us everything. Your metadata, how you tag your music, it has to speak their language, not just yours.
Okay, so maybe you're thinking, all right, I get it. This makes sense. But how do you actually build it? Well, it all starts with getting the foundation right. We're talking about your rights, your tools, and a process you can repeat over and over again. Okay, listen up, because this is where so many artists lose money. They think all music revenue is the same, and it's just not. The sync fee, which you collect directly, is totally different from a performance royalty from BMI or ASCAP. And that's different from mechanicals, which is different from digital performance royalties. You have to understand these separate income streams. Getting this wrong is like trying to build a business on quicksand.
And MakingAScene.org puts it perfectly here. Things like split sheets, registrations, clear ownership data. That's not the boring admin stuff you do later. It is the creative infrastructure that lets your music actually make money. I mean, think about it from the buyer's perspective. If they can't figure out who to pay for your song in 30 seconds, they are gone. The market just moves too fast to wait.
Now, the good news is, this used to be incredibly time-consuming, but the tools we have today have completely changed the game. Just think of AI as your own personal, super-fast intern. It can listen to your entire catalog and tag everything with those buyer-friendly keywords in minutes. And Web3, forget all the hype. For our purposes, just think of it as a digital notary, a permanent, unfakeable filing cabinet that gives you time-stamped proof of ownership.
So here's the actual workflow. It's a simple 4-step process. First, you analyze a song and ask, what jobs can its different parts do? Then, you export everything, the instrumental, the stems, all the different cuts. Third, you tag it all with that clear, buyer-focused metadata we talked about. And finally, you match those assets to the marketplaces where you know buyers are already looking. See, it's a system, not a lottery ticket.
But hey, you've got to be careful. There are a few traps here that can totally wreck this whole plan. Unclear ownership, that's the #1 deal killer, period. Bad metadata, you're basically invisible to buyers. And confusing your rights means you're just leaving money on the table. And please, don't just depend on one single platform. This is about building your asset library.
So this is what it all boils down to. This is the new model for success. It is not about waiting by the phone to be discovered by some big shot. It's about taking what you already own, organizing it intelligently, and actively deploying it into the marketplace yourself. You are the CEO of your catalog.
And when you do all this, when you adopt this mindset, it leads to the ultimate goal. We're actually moving beyond just calling our work songs.
We're talking about capital.
And this is the final, most powerful way to think about your music. Your back catalog, your collection of old songs, it isn't a graveyard of past releases. It is capital. Capital that you created, that you control, and that you can put to work building a sustainable career. It's an engine for your business that doesn't need anyone else's permission to run. Make sure you check out the other great articles and resources on makingascene.org, the place the indie artist goes to build the new music industry.